Hello everyone, I'm the Normal Exile, and in today's video we're going to do a little bit late our week 3 update. So we ended up getting Voltaxic, we put it all together, we got the build together and everything, not super optimized and everything like that, but we did try it out and it just wasn't quite satisfying enough. The damage was okay, the build was kinda okay. You know, nothing particularly bad about it. Damage was kind of low, survivability was kind of low. It was spell suppress capped and stuff like that, and max resist and max chaos resist and stuff like that. So I mean, it was okay. Got the build to 70 something. But honestly, we were clearing some T5 maps. We were leveling up the character. And I just kind of got a little depressed. So I got a little clip here, a little map showcase that we're going to splice in here. And then we'll do a little bit of a breakdown of it. And we won't waste too much time on that, because I have an even better build that is so much fun that I did it a second time. So I will see you in just a minute. I am a little bit bummed out because here it is, Voltaxic Rift, 6 linked, we got it, but we've been trying out some different spells here. We've we've tried out our level 21 Lightning Tendrils, we've tried our level 20 Storm Burst, we've tried out our level 20 Wave of Conviction, we got our level 20 Divine Ire, you know. Yeah, I mean, our Hydrosphere is only level 17 or whatever, and Arc's only level 17 or whatever, but honestly, it's just not quite good enough. I think, oh, we tried Absolution too. Got our 2020 Absolution there too. I think Absolution was probably the best one, but it wasn't fun. Wasn't enjoying it, and I think if we were going to go Absolution, it would probably be better to reroll as a Guardian, get yourself the free onslaught, get yourself the free damage and all that stuff, you know, the 80% reduced effective curses and all that stuff. I think in general the build is probably best made as a Hierophant, just stacking a bunch of mana and utilizing the mastery for increases and reductions to mana applied a shock effect at 30% of their value. Because the main problem that we're running into, the main issue with the whole build is actually, let's see if we can find our infused channeling here. Is that the high level one? That's the high level one. So I think the biggest issue with the build is, one, a lack of shock effect, and 2, a lack of cast speed. I think you'd really need some cast speed on your rings and your amulet. We'll get a +1 lightning there, it's kind of neat. And I think you'd probably want to do some variation of an int stacker with the, I think it's called the Poised Prism. I'm not totally sure. But the build's pretty hard carried by the explosions from occultist. It's a pretty cool start to a little map here. I mean, we're only in a tier 5, so you know, we're not doing anything crazy. But yeah, the whole idea behind the build was to see if we could get those juicy 90% shocks, ultimately with the mastery up to 105% shocks. And there's just not enough cast speed. There's not enough cast speed. I think, I don't know. The build's alright. I think maybe I'm just getting a little sad about it. But, because I put all this time and effort and thought into trying to get this to work. So I'm gonna give it some more shots here. I was trying to find the boss so I could show you guys the single target DPS, because Divine Ire in and of itself does a lot of damage. It's a pretty good spell. So kind of makes it look like a good build. It's kind of not a good build. Herald of Agony's decent. You know, Herald of Agony builds are kind of cool. But with the lack of cast speed, the stacks on Divine Ire stack up really, really slow. I mean, you can see here, that's 20. You know what I mean? And if we're hitting a unique enemy, you know, it's not so bad. But you can see here, you know, 30% shock. It's not that great. Herald of Agony stacks aren't stacking up too great. Even with chance to poison on Galvanic Field, it's still kind of not good enough. Yeah, getting our double stacks there. I don't know, it's okay. Ooh. When you do bad stuff like that. Guess if we stack it all the way up to 20, we still don't even... we don't even have enough shock chance to, like, actually make it good. So, that's the build. I mean, we're not doing anything special. You know, I've been... Basically, the base is chance to poison, void manipulation, and onslaught. Varying is physical to lightning, infused channeling for the channel abilities such as Divine Ire and Stormburst and Lightning Tendrils. For the non-channeling, we've generally been using either Innervate, Arcane Surge, or just whatever's good. But like I said, I definitely think going a Hierophant, stacking mana is probably the best way to go. I think you could definitely, with like a Curse on Hit ring or something to that effect, you could definitely use... I was for a long time using Kitava's Thirst, and we had Hex Blast and Lightning Conduit in there. That was actually really, really good. I kind of regret speccing out of that. So I think before I give up entirely, I'm going to reroll as a Hierophant. I'm going to see if we can't just juice mana up a whole bunch. Can't use Kitava's Thirst to do Hex Blast and Lightning Conduit, and see if that helps us out. But so far, kind of not worth. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I will let you guys know. But for now, that is my update. Alright, so we basically scrapped the other character, and here we are on the first of the two new characters. Basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a build based around Hollow Palm technique. Now this is a build that I've done in the past. It's basically you stack a bunch of dexterity, you get a bunch of flat physical damage, you get a more attack speed multiplier, and then you just scale the mess out of that. So currently on this character we're sitting at 503 dexterity. That's crazy. My int and my strength are matched. That's really, really funny. Sorry about that. But so that's the basic of the build. Currently for this build I wanted to try out the new Volcanic Fissure, which actually is a ton of fun. I've kind of been looking at different ways of scaling it. So we've got our Volcanic Fissure, we've got Fortify, Life Tap, Faster Attacks, and Fist of War. I think probably added fire damage would be more damage than Fist of War overall. But generally speaking, I mean, we're only in Act 9 right now. We're level 67, I believe. Yeah, 67. And for those of you that... Oops, good grief. For those of you that have not played a Hollow Palm character, I mean, you can basically see you kind of just destroy everything. It's the damage is really insane through the axe. You don't really have to worry about much in that regard. You basically just kill everything, and you got your Volcanic Fissure for when things get a little dicey. But other than that, the damage is pretty substantial. It's a lot of fun. And I am building it as a raider on this character. The reason for that is you already get a whole bunch of flat scaling from the Hollow Palm technique. Like, you get a lot of attack speed as well. You get a 40% more attack speed multiplier. And then with the Raider, you get a couple nice things. You get the 40% chance to suppress spell damage and free phasing permanently. You get 50% chance to avoid elemental ailments while phasing, which again is permanently. And then you get fire, cold, and lightning exposure while you have phasing, which again is all the time, applying minus 20% to those resistances. For this version of the build, we have not made the full conversion to fire yet. We do still have some physical damage. The intention is to grab Lava Lash for the 8% penetration there and get the 40% conversion mastery. And then picking up Forces of Nature for another 10% elemental penetration. So that'll land us at 20, 30, 8% penetration. And then you can get like an Anger, Watcher's Eye mod and stuff like that to lower that even further. We are scaling to 100% spell suppression and stuff like that. Currently negative 30 chaos resist. Again, we're not even done with the axe just yet. But ultimately, I kind of came up with the idea of running this in Sanctum with the Earthbreaker support. And I was trying that out, and it's actually pretty good. It's pretty decent. And then, in fact, I actually was enjoying that so much that I decided to make a chieftain instead. Because with the chieftain, you get a free 50% physical damage converted to fire. Every 10 seconds, you gain 100% of physical as extra fire. You get Taoa's Forest Strength, which is basically like a super slam ability that triggers every couple seconds. You get Tesalio Cleansing Water, which gives you a whole bunch of fire resist, which, since you don't get either hand or a glove slot, it is kind of difficult to balance your resist while stacking up as much dex as possible. And then I'm on the fence of either getting Valico Storm's Embrace, which would be basically just a little bit of life regen and an extra endurance charge. I don't really like that because I don't want to lose endurance charges. We don't have a way of like forcing ourselves to lose endurance charges right now. But I do think that Tukahama War's Herald would be good. 100% increased effect of the buffs. Have 100% increased activation range, and 2% of the damage dealt by your totems is Leech's Life. The whole idea for the Sanctum is to be at a distance, dropping these totems, and spending your time dodging around while your totems are killing everything. So I think the activation range is actually going to be pretty substantial, but we're going to have to test that out. We're going to see how that goes. Currently, this character is level 38, 161 dex, but the damage is already super substantial. I mean, we're looking at 11,000 on our level 67 character. We're at 4,500 on this character, and periodically that basically doubles. We'll go ahead and jump into our hideout here. So as soon as we get the icon up here letting us know that our thing has popped, we go from 5,066 up to 8,576. And we are currently in the process of running up to Avatar of Fire, that we will have the full fire conversion, and that should be pretty insane. So I'm pretty excited for this version of the character. We are going a little bit heavier focus on block. We're going to pick up Blade Barrier, we're going to pick up Swagger, and then ultimately, we're going to respec these nodes here. We're going to path through Master of the Arena, Art of the Gladiator, and then we're going to pick up Dervish as well. Should land us somewhere around 40% chance to block, and then we'll start working on our spell suppression. We're going to come up through all these juicy dex nodes up here and grab a whole bunch of this stuff up here. And just normal stat stacking stuff, being really powerful. And then ultimately, Volcanic Fissure is pretty cancer. It really clutters up the screen, so I think that I'm going to end up going with Sunder, because Sunder is more visual clarity. It's not super great, but it's definitely better than Volcanic Fissure, and it also has giant AoE. It has like I have no investment into AoE, and it's literally like the whole screen. It's absolutely insane. So that's the plan. Leveling as a Hollow Palm is actually really nice, because you get insane damage. You don't really have to focus on anything other than your resist and stacking dex, and that's pretty much it. So That's kind of why the update was so late, because I was working really hard on putting that Voltaxic character together, and I still kind of wish that I had held on to the bow and just rerolled as a Hierophant. I think that you know, going the Hierophant, stacking a bunch of mana, getting our Kitava's Thirst, Hex Blast, Lightning Conduit, getting a Curse on hit ring, and just blasting. I think that that would have been really good. So I probably will ultimately buy the bow again. I will try the build again as a Hierophant. But for now, I'm having a lot of fun with Hollow Palm. And, not that you guys care about this, but we were pretty aggressive about getting those Tranquility cards. We got the first 3 for 30 Chaos, 35 Chaos, and 50 Chaos. And then they immediately went up to like 2.5 Divines each for like a week and a half. Until a couple days before I was able to put the build together. And then we got really lucky. We bought 3 of the remaining for a Divine, and then I bought the last one for like 150 Chaos. So we got them put together, and then we were able to 6-link the bow in less than 50 fusings, which was absolutely nuts. So all in all, it cost us around 5 Divines to put the bow together, and somebody ended up buying it for 10. They bought it for 10 Divines. It's the richest I've ever been in my life, which was pretty cool. I had like 3 Divines sitting around, and then somebody bought another item for 2 Divines. I was like, dude, I am so rich right now. This is absolutely insane. And then we went on a pretty big shopping spree. Bought the Hollow Palm Technique, bought 2 Garrukant's Flight. We bought a nice 20% attributes quality at Astramentus, and we went a little off the rails, so it was fun though. still have some money in the bank, so I will give you guys an update here in a few days after I've leveled the character through maps. But until then, I will catch you next time. Bye.